is me, Robin, with Simple Food, Simple Life. If you watched my most recent video about taking inventory on Mondays, I take inventory in my refrigerator and freezer and or refrigerator freezer to see what I have and what needs to be used up for the week. So because I actually saw what I have, I am inspired to make some soup out of several of the items that I pulled from my refrigerator. If you haven't seen that video, it's very recent. You can just go back and watch it. Now then, I've got my kettle out here, and in my kettle I have some tomatoes that were in my downstairs freezer, and it's a frozen block, but they are chopped. So, and these are from last year, from my garden last year. So I grow tomato plants next to my garage, and honestly, you can grow stuff just about anywhere. Just pick a spot, see what happens. You might be surprised. Anyway, I'm in the process of thawing these out. So I'm going to put a lid on this. I'm going to give it a chance to thaw out and break down. And to which then I will add these carrots. And in the last video I had a bag of carrots and I had a little bit of onion, so that is going in the soup as well. I just chopped off the thin ends of the carrots, and I'm going to save these for carrot sticks. Makes a nice snack. Using the same container that my onions were in, by the way. And I've got the chicken broth here. So I've got 2 containers of chicken broth, well, partial containers, which I'm going to use in the soup. And I'm going to cut up the rest of this chicken. It's a chicken leg and chicken thigh. This is lemon pepper chicken. So this soup is going to be like a lemon pepper chicken soup with some mushrooms, because I pulled out one of the bags of frozen mushrooms and I'm going to put them in there as well. Now, I will be adding some other things, some spices, things like that, and you will be able to see how this soup is going to come along. So stick with me, because it might be something, it might give you an idea, spark your imagination and give you an idea as to how you can use what you have. Okie doke. Now, in the kettle, I put the tomatoes, as you saw. There's still a little bit of an icy there. It's going away. I sliced up the carrots. I put them in, chopped up the rest of the onion. I put that in. And I have put in the chicken. There, I see that I accidentally got a bony part there, which we don't want that. But I put in the chicken, and I put in the juices from the chicken, realizing that this is lemon pepper chicken, okay? So, now, I don't have the broth in here yet. I want to enhance the lemon pepper flavor. So, I'm going to put in a couple of teaspoons of garlic. Okay, and I'm going to put in a couple of teaspoons of lemon pepper. And I'm going to put in some Badia Complete here. Put in a teaspoon of that. And hang on here, because I'm going to grab a bottle of lemon juice. And I'm going to put in a couple of teaspoons of lemon juice. And I'm going to put in some pepper. because, you know, lemon, pepper. I don't have a recipe for this. I am just winging it because I'm using leftovers. So you just use whatever you see fit. Okay? And I'm going to put some salt in here as well. So, here we go. Give this a taste. Well, that's pretty tasty. But I will season as I go because I can see that at some point it's probably going to need a little bit of this and that. Now, I've got my chicken broth here, which is quite gelatinous. It's quite fatty. That's good. I'm fine with that. I have this broth, which is not quite as fatty, but that's okay. That's good. See all this right there? I'm going to pop that in the microwave to liquefy that. And I'm going to pour that in the soup. See there? Got all liquefied. Liquefaction. Okay. Now then, I've got, I'm going to leave these out. I'm going to leave out the spices and the lemon juice here, just in case I need some more. I'm going to turn the heat up on this. The soup is going to be a little fatty. I don't care if it's fatty. I'm good with it. I'm going to taste it. I can taste it because everything is cooked, including the meat. Well, I have to say, that's very tasty. Very tasty. So I'm going to put in some parsley. Okay? And I'm going to put in, and I know this sounds weird, I'm going to put in some minced onion. Why? Because minced onion, the minced dried onion, has a different flavor than regular fresh onion. So I'm going to put some of that in there as well. Okay? And, just for the fun of it, and to add a little more flavor to it, I'm going to put in, this has 1 teaspoon, this is some powdered chicken bouillon. And so I'm going to put in a teaspoon. I'm going to put in, actually I think I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons, and then I'm going to add a cup of water. Because 1 cup of water and 1 teaspoon makes 1 cup of broth. Okay? So, put in some water. I'm just going to eyeball the water because, you know, contrary to popular belief, my goal is not to continually dirty utensils. Oh my word. It's not my goal. Alright, now then, I think, I'm trying to decide if I should add some basil in this or not. I don't know. I don't know, that's awfully good. It's awfully good just like it is. Hum. I think I'm going to put a little more lemon pepper in there. A couple more teaspoons. Because I love that lemony, peppery taste. You see how much soup is here? In the last video, I said you got to be careful when you recreate and remake leftovers into something else. You end up with a lot more food, which then gives you a lot more potential for leftovers. I'm just saying. All right, when this comes to a boil, I'm going to turn it down. I'm going to put a lid on it, because if you like it, then you better put a lid on it. Come on. And then I'm just going to let this simmer for a little bit, because I want my carrots to be fairly tender. Okay, we'll be back. Alrighty. My carrots are nicely done. I've got my chicken. It's nicely broken down. Smells really, really good. I'm going to give it a quick taste. I put in, while you were away, I put in a little more lemon pepper, a couple more teaspoons, and actually I put in some more ground pepper as well. It's lovely. Now then, I want to have a little bit of starch in my soup. Now, how can I do that? I could do potatoes, I could do pasta, I could do any number of little starchy elements in there, but because I remember I have this leftover yellow rice from last week, from the weekend, so I'm going to put this in there. And this is already cooked, so I'm just going to use this portion of the rice when I add it to the soup. So what we're going to have here is lemon pepper chicken rice soup with mushrooms. So how good does that sound? Pretty good? Now, do you see what I'm doing? Do you see what I am doing? I am taking my leftovers after I took inventory. If you don't take the inventory of what is in your refrigerator, you will not be able to do this very easily. But because I know what is in there, I can do it. So, I have added the rice in there. Okay? And I'm not going to add any more rice in there, because if I do, it might thicken it up. So there's the yellow rice in my soup. Now I'm going to turn the heat up. I'm going to bring it back up to a boil again. And I'll just leave the lid off this time because I don't care. And I have brought out and washed some of my jars that are left. They're pasta jars. Remember we talked about this before? Lug lids. Your pasta jars. Here's a salsa jar. Alrighty, lug lid. Little button there. And once the hot soup, boiling hot soup, goes in these jars, the lugs, the little buttons will go down. They should go down. This will seal up. Is it preserved? No, it's not preserved. But I can put it in the refrigerator, and as long as the button is down, as long as it's self-sealed, it will last for weeks in my refrigerator. Okay? So that's what I'm going to do. So we will be back in a moment, and I'll show you what happens. Okie doke, the soup is boiling. It'll be nice and hot. And now I'm going to turn the heat off, and I'm going to fill up these jars. I've got my little canning funnel here, which is a great tool, by the way. And I'm going to fill up my jars. I think I should have enough jars here, but we will see. We'll see what happens. Now these jars are not quart jars. I think the most they are, the biggest one is like a quart and a half, but it doesn't really matter to me. I don't care. I'm going to take it up to the line there. So there's one. Now, be aware, the funnel does not fit in the top of these, so we have to be very careful with that. I'll do my best to fill them, but we have to be careful. Could get rather messy. It gets messy anyway, no matter what. That's been my experience. Fill this one up. I'm looking forward to this soup. This is going to give me more than enough soup for the week, by the way. And that is very awesome. So I tighten them, make sure they're really good and tight. Now, this is going to be a little bit tricky. If you have a smaller funnel, that's great, that's fine. Better yet, I'm going to try something else. Hang on here. I'm going to use this instead. I think that might be more helpful for what I'm trying to do here. So you can see, you know, there's always a way. There's always a way. Just work it out. And I say, my husband always said, do the best you can with the tools you got. These are the tools I have right now. Okay? Now because I know the top of that is messy and I want my jars to seal nicely, so I'm going to put that there. Bring the other one over here. We're going to fill this one up as well. Do you see what I mean about once you reinvent your leftovers, you're going to have more food than you imagined you would have? You just are. That's the way it goes. That is exactly the way it happens. Now then, I'm going to clean this one off as well, because I want these to self-seal. I'm keeping them in the fridge. I want them to last a good long while. There. Now, you want to see how much is left in that kettle? This is what is left. Right there. So I'll just put that in a sauce dish. And I will eat it because it's tasty. And what? We don't want to waste. No waste. Let's not waste. All right. So write up some extra jars. This is good. This has worked out really, really well. I'm happy. Happy, happy. Happy, happy, happy. Ha ha. So I'm going to get this all cleaned up here. And I just want to show you what we were able to do. Okay? There we are. I have 4 jars. You can't see that, can you? No, you can't. Crazy, Granny. I have 4 jars of soup. And the lug lids will self-seal, and I can, when it cools down enough, I will pop this in the refrigerator. And this is going to give me more than enough soup for a week. Actually, this will last me a couple weeks. Plus, think about what I have used. I've used the leftover chicken. I've used the some of the leftover yellow rice. I've used a large portion of the carrots, except for some carrot sticks I saved back. I used the piece of onion that was left. I used a bag of frozen tomatoes from last year from my garden that I had in my deep freeze downstairs. I used, what else did I use in here? I used some of my spices, which I already had. And I have soup. So it's just me here, but if you have a family, this is supper. All right? Throw on some bread, a sandwich, a toasted cheese sandwich, whatever you want. This is supper for could be supper for a family. Think about that. Individually, no, but together, yes. So, that's it for me today. I love you guys. You know I do. Thank you for sticking with me on this. This is a meal that was made out of my refrigerator inventory that I showed you in my last video. I wanted to demonstrate to you what can be done using those things that I have. And you saw what I have. If you haven't watched the video, you need to. You saw what I have. And this is what I have made so far. Okay? Alright, stick with me on this. Let's see where this takes us, because you know what? We never know, do we? No, we never know. Alright, I love you guys. You know I do. And as always, you know that little is much when God is in it. Alright, I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.